Okay, quick update on the Kawasaki project here, the Brute Force. And what I've got now is I've got the old snorkels off and the new ones on pretty much. This thing is a lot. Not the easiest thing to do, but I'm just going to go over a few things that what I've done. First off, I suppose when you get everything off, there's going to be you're gonna have to cut a lot of the old plastics out to try to move some of this out of the way. The best way that I've found is to actually, once you get the plastics, this whole piece here, it's better to take your little sensor out or whatever it is. Take this whole piece out, and what you're going to wind up with is, that's going to be in there something like that. And this is what I've cut out of it. You can pull this whole piece out and cut it that way. It's a lot easier than trying to cut this out while this is still down. So I had to do that. That's about what I've cut out. So you're going to have to do that. Also, there is a hole, all of this under here, between all this area here, is going to have this plastic, all of this plastic here. It's going to be down. You're going to have to cut all of that away. And what I did is basically, and it'll tell you in the instructions, but I took these pair of scissors like this, or these shears, and cut the plastic. Just cut it into pieces. However you can get down there and cut it is what I did. That seemed like the easiest thing to do. Also, I had this stuff laying around. Also, with your air box, it's got this piece that sticks out. This is the cover. When you get the plastics off, this is going to be on there, something like this, or maybe, I think it's actually, yeah, it's actually going to be on there like that. It's going to have a couple of screws to take out, and this thing is a pain. If I had it to do over, I would probably try to just cut it out, because you don't really need it anymore. But if you don't cut it out, it is a pain in the butt to try to get this thing out, because you have to try to get it out, and it's going to have to go out that way. You're not going to be able to get it side. So cutting it, probably going to be the way to go. If not, you're going to have to fiddle with this thing to get it out that side. What else? Well, since I'm over here, the air box, this was a pain in the butt. What I basically wound up doing was taking this piece here, and this boot, this rubber boot, it's kind of cut a certain way. It's kind of cut from the way they send it, but that's basically how this thing's going to go. But basically, I had to kind of put the boot on first, then slide this under and see about where this thing fits. See about where this boot is going to fit onto the pipe. Pull it all off. Put this hose clamp onto the pipe, and then tighten it down. And I went ahead and filled all of this up, because it I don't know, it doesn't look like it's going to seal very good, but I suppose it does. I guess we'll find out, because I'm going to have this thing smoke tested anyway. But the way I did it, that seemed the easiest to me, was to go ahead, put this hose clamp on, tighten it all down, go ahead and fill all this up with silicone everywhere, let it dry. Then you have to go in this way and then up and move it all around and then get it over this and then put the hose clamp on, or go ahead and put your hose clamp on, get it down and around and fit it under there. It's going to take some wiggling and moving around to get this boot through here, up over these and all, and it's a pain in the butt. Now, the other thing you could do is you could actually just cut these off. I don't think it doesn't go into the air box, so honestly, that probably would have been the thing to do, is just cut these off maybe. That would, especially this one, that would help. Cut those off, and then it has to go with all this together. Put the boot under first, slide it through, and then get it on here, and then tighten all this down, and then seal it all up with silicone. That was the way I did it. Really a pain in the butt. But the other thing that you also have to do with this is when you take the air box off, this air box has a little drain plug, right? Maybe you can see that down there. I filled all that up with silicone down. Don't even know if you can, it's kind of hard to see through here. But anyway, there's, I don't know if you can see that anywhere. Probably not. Anyway, on the bottom side, where that hole is a little rubber piece that clamps on. I just took and filled all that with silicone and tried to get it back up there. So that was that. As far as these go over here, it's not too bad. It runs up, around, and then up for your intake. Your exhaust is just like you see here, up and around, and then over kind of like this way. It also gives you plenty of tubing for your vents, your gas tank vent. This is what I did. Run it through here, down, and then eventually it's going to go up and onto the risers. One thing I don't think they did is they give you these little connectors. Now maybe you could use they didn't really give you any hose clamps to put on this. Maybe you could use zip ties. I'm going to buy some hose clamps, some small ones, and put on. But for your front diff, your gas tank, and your rear diff, for your vent lines to go up. And the only thing I don't like about this versus the way the King Quad is and maybe I mentioned this already, but I don't like how the snorkel is connected to the box, because you do have to open this up periodically and clean inside of there, clean them sheaves and your clutches and all. And to take this off, you're going to have to undo this. I don't know, we'll just have to see how that goes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else offhand, and it's a lot of fitting and cutting. You do have to cut this out on your fenders. Cut this out, so the idea is for it to sit something like that. If you don't have a Dremel is going to be the best thing. I don't have one, and I'm having to use a drill with this on it. Works okay, but a Dremel would be a lot better. Trying to think of anything else as far as the snorkels. There may be, but I'm probably forgetting something. What I have basically left to do now is to put the plastic on. Put the plastic back on, get these, here's the risers that they send, put the risers on, put the plastic on, and then I'll probably start with the radiator. I got the radiator down there. Also, while I had everything down, I went ahead and did the lift kit. I did get a high lifter lift kit. With the fenders off, made it a lot easier to put the lift kit on there. And here on the back, put it on. Also, I'm in the process, I'm going to go ahead and take the sway bar off. In the process of taking that off, take the sway bar off. Just like I did the King Quad, it's off on that. I'm going to take the sway bar off. And I think that's probably about it. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. I don't think so. Also, they do give you some heat tape. They give you some of that. Put some heat tape around. I doubt that stuff's going to stay. Probably about the first time you get in the water, this stuff's probably going to come off. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that's basically kind of how this thing goes. As far as that's going to be up a little bit here. Probably wouldn't hurt to put some silicone around where these rubber boots join. But so I think that's going to be it for this one. And I'm gonna have another update as soon as I get the radiator on, probably. So that's gonna do it for this one, and I will see you in the next one.